Project managers often deal with many different documents and plans throughout a project's lifecycle. It is easy to get confused about which ones are firm commitments and which are living documents that change frequently. Today, we will clarify a critical distinction between project management plans, project documents like registers, and baselines. Understanding this difference is essential for effective project control and for your certified associate in project management exam. Let us begin by defining each term. A project management plan is a comprehensive document that defines how the project will be executed, monitored, controlled, and closed. It integrates all the subsidiary plans and baselines into a single cohesive document. Think of it as the master blueprint for the entire project, providing direction and guidance for the project team. It is developed iteratively and can be updated, but only through a formal process. Project documents, on the other hand, are the operational artifacts used to manage the project day-to-day. Examples include the assumptions log, issue log, and lessons learned register, which we discussed in the preceding lecture. These documents are dynamic and are updated frequently as new information becomes available or as the project progresses. They reflect the current status and ongoing activities of the project. Baselines represent the approved versions of certain components of the project management plan. The three most important baselines are the scope baseline, the schedule baseline, and the cost baseline. The scope baseline includes the project scope statement, the work breakdown structure, and the work breakdown structure dictionary. The schedule baseline is the approved version of the project schedule, and the cost baseline is the approved version of the time-phased project budget. The key distinction lies in how changes are managed for each type of artifact. Baselines are established at a specific point in time, typically after planning is complete and before execution begins. Once approved, baselines are fixed and can only be changed through a formal change control process. This means that any proposed alteration to the scope, schedule, or cost baseline must go through a change control board for review and approval. This formal change control process ensures stability and provides a stable reference point against which project performance is measured. If baselines were to change without strict governance, it would be impossible to accurately track whether the project is on track regarding its original objective. Therefore, maintaining the integrity of baselines is paramount for effective monitoring and control. Project documents, conversely, are designed to be updated regularly and do not typically require formal change control board approval for their modifications. For example, when a new issue arises, the issue log is simply updated by the project manager or a designated team member. When new lessons are learned, they are added to the lessons learned register. While these updates should be managed and communicated, they do not trigger the same rigorous approval process as changes to a baseline. However, the overall project management plan, which contains the baselines, will also be updated if a baseline changes. If a change request is approved that impacts the scope baseline, for instance, then the scope baseline itself is updated, and consequently, the relevant part of the project management plan is also updated. It is an integrated document, so changes to its core components ripple through. Consider a project to develop a new mobile application. The agreed upon features for the application would form part of the scope baseline. If a stakeholder later requests a major new feature, this would necessitate a formal change request and potentially a change control board review to update the scope baseline. However, if a team member identifies a bug, this would be recorded in the issue log, which is a project document, without needing formal baseline approval. In summary, remember this: baselines are the stable, approved reference points that measure performance and require formal change control. Project documents are dynamic working tools that are updated frequently without formal change control board approval. The overarching project management plan integrates all of these, and its baseline components are subject to strict change control, while other sections may be updated with less formality, but still with governance. Understanding this difference is fundamental to managing projects effectively and successfully.